I was talking about making a difference. They said it's all business, repentance is key. Now we living in marvelous times. No questions, they stressing, depressing our seeds. Hakuna Matata, no problems. Ismahli yadri nik mufahim. We walk on the land of the prophets. Might be growing the beard like James Harden. Submitting to God is Islam. I'm defending the peace like Mukhtar was. We diving for pearls, you just diving. Might call shotgun, no one's driving, no. I was born in a war zone. Shit is maniacal. Need some botanical, natural, medical. Shit. This is so undeniable. Horses and camels, I'm riding with honor. Wrapping my skull up, not wearing no armor. My bodyguard is the creator. When I say Allah, I mean the one God. We came from Adam, the same father. The name is Abdul Rahman. Slave of the merciful, most compassionate. If you don't know, ask and get asked.
You say amen, we say amen.
Amen.
You say hallelujah, we say alhamdulillah.
Ahi is my brother, Ukhti is my sister. This language has been here forever.
Beautiful alphabet.
You should learn Arabic.
Islam is peace, logic, astronomy.
No, we don't do politics.
That's the paradox. Grab my astrolabe and connect the dots. I'm with the ulama, like it's Ramadan. Subtitles on, camp out of John. My name is hard to pronounce, Hakim Olajuwon. Norman Ali Khan, Rahmani North. The only one in class who didn't eat pork, but the only one in class who went ham on the microphone. Substitute teacher would piss me off. That's not how you say my name for the 1,000th time. That's not a bomb, that's a bong. I need a young Paula Abdul for a baby's mom. Knows how to carry a sword like it's a Hajj. She can put on a hijab if she wants. Yes, salam. Back in the day, my grandfather was a pirate, looking for pearls and rubies and gold and diamonds. Always had faith in myself like my father did. My only leader's Muhammad and all my people followed him. My pride is my everything, but sometimes I have to swallow it like they were vitamins. We had lungs like Aquaman, diving hundreds of feet deep with no oxygen. We were repressed for so long since the Ottomans. Now we coming back so strong, I'm taking care of it. Connecting with my ancestors like I'm channeling the waking of the sleeping giant from the island. After a chain of events, they blame Mohammedans. We men of honor. As soon as we finish making dua, we diving for pearls. He just diving. We diving for pearls. He just diving.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Finally waking up from the American dream. Once was lost, but now we've been found by the prophesied Mahdi from Bedouin kings. We don't fold, we don't bend, we don't break. Ever since birth, been at war with the state. So if I don't make it to the pearly gates, then I'll be wringing Satan's neck in the fiery lake. I was raised on the Psalms of David. My ancestors came to this land on slave ships. My grandmother did a life bid on grave ships, and we was just trying not to get our heads split. Ain't no justice and ain't no bygones. Crooked police will get fired on. Turn that courthouse to no-fly zone. Turn that precinct to a war zone. Mayday, mayday, Ricky Bobby. This ain't maybe, this is probably. This ain't hate speech, it's the Bible. Welcome to America, it's survival. You could get a false charge or hit the lotto. You might as well just twist the throttle. Eye for eye like Hammurabi. 10,000 warriors crowd the lobby. If it's me or either you, then it ain't me, so it's wasabi. I bow with those who bow to true believers. Render to Caesar what is Caesar's. Kodak said you don't believe in Jesus. Leave him no choice but give it to you like Jesus. Don't ever fix your lips like college and to say something that I'm gonna end up abolishing.
I hope y'all enjoyed that track. Welcome back to the Top Cast. I am your host, the one and only incredible T.O.P. And we are back for the fourth installment, but episode number 6 of the Übermensch series. I'm pretty sure that you guys may have checked out the other previous episodes. If not, go check them out. They're right on my homepage, featuring none other than the Red Pill Chauvinist, Mr. Ice Turner, and Mr. I Don't Give a Fuck Mindset. Tonight, I'm joined by none other than the big homie from the Midwest, nothing less, ain't no guess, my man, TheOtherRayJ. And tonight's episode number 6, is about self-belief. Operative word, self, meaning you don't need nobody else to believe in you if you believe in yourself. And Ray J, I don't know if you're familiar with existentialist philosophy or not, but the title of this series, Übermensch, is a term that comes from existentialist philosophy. And one of the fathers of existentialism is Friedrich Nietzsche. And this series is about guys becoming a Uberman or Superman or Neo, the one. And what I notice is a lot of guys, not until they go through a period of self-doubt do they go into a phase of self-belief, not unlike Neo did in the Matrix after he visited the Oracle and subsequently ended up believing in himself and saving Morpheus from the agents. I noticed that a lot of guys that you talk to and I talk to and other people talk to don't have a lot of belief in themselves because they say things like, this woman is out of my league, or I can't do this. Do you have any thoughts in regards to that?
Oh yeah, man. Shout out to everybody in the chat, by the way. I see y'all. And yeah, I mean, I had my Oracle moment before in my life. Back in the days, long story short, I felt like self-destruction at one point. And you try to run to people, try to get them to talk to you, but you realize you are the only person you could talk to. So it was like in my self-destruction, I couldn't help but put pieces together. So it was like, man, oh, that's where the Neo kicked in. Because upon realizing I had to put things together and I had no one else to run to, it was like I saw problems that needed to be solved right before my eyes. So really, that's what snapped me back into life, was just seeing that there were things that I still could do. I guess kind of like Neo, I started to see the numbers before my eyes, going up and down. And it was like, wow, now it's starting to make sense. But yeah, I had to get to that point of where I was going to be self-destructive.
Indeed, indeed. What I've come to notice is, in particular, when it comes to women, is that a lot of guys don't believe in themselves, and I'm pretty sure that you are aware of it, and some others would be aware of it who've been interacting with me, particularly on Instagram. But I've been saying it for some time that a lot of guys, because they have a lack of knowledge of themselves, have problems, and believing in yourself is one of these problems. A lot of guys, they just do not, either they don't know how to tap into their innate confidence, or or uh or they refuse to believe that is not as difficult as they think it is. Is there, what thoughts do you have in those regards?
Yeah, a lot of people who have a lot of fear, man. Some people know that they're greater, but they don't want to take that leap. They don't want to take that sacrifice. And it goes back to what's written in scripture in the Bible, where it said, whosoever thinketh in his heart, so is he.
Mm-hmm.
So, that basically is like the theme of what we're talking about tonight, because a lot of people could be greater, but it's their belief. They use their belief to hold them back more than to push them forward. It's like, wow, you got enough in you to move forward, but you're using it to hold yourself back. That fear.
I agree. I would agree with you 100% that fear does play a large part into in why people don't actually achieve the things that they are capable of achieving. Because I myself have been guilty of the very same thing. And this is how I know that other people are also guilty of it. Because at the end of the day, we're not really as different as we think we are. But a lot of guys, it sounds very, very simple when you say it, that it's a matter of just changing your mindset. But I think that really goes over a lot of guys' heads, how simple it really is. It really only takes you to make a decision and to stick to it. So go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna say, yeah, yeah, and that's the thing because a lot of guys, one is they weren't raised a certain way to know how to stick to things, or they didn't really have something divine happen in their life that gave them an incentive.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think the divinity speaks out even more than the way you were raised. I mean, if you were raised properly, that's kudos. I mean, that's the way it's supposed to be. But it really says something when divinity knocks on your door and you go about moving a certain way, and people would have no clue how you got to where you got in life. That divinity.
Another thing that I think guys miss is I think a lot of guys look to other people, other guys, or other people in general for confirmation of what they think about themselves. And that also, is a hindrance to, fully activating yourself by believing in yourself. So a lot of guys, for example, they'll see a woman and say, "Oh, she's out of my league," and they instantly kill their own belief in themselves that they're worthy of having that woman. And it's all hinged upon their mindset, the way they're thinking. And if they was just to change that, then they would get different results.
Yeah, I
And
agree. I agree.
go ahead.
Oh no. I was just gonna say like that's why I be thinking like a lot of guys really don't understand this red pill talk. Like, yeah, after Neo took the red pill, he still had doubt. He didn't know his greatness. It took something beyond red pill for him to tap into his greatness. So yeah, you see that a lot, even with a lot of guys out here in these spaces. Yeah, they talk about red pill, but for most of them, it's like beating a dead horse. They haven't tapped into the next step beyond the red pill.
Mm-hmm. They haven't reached that moment where see, a lot of guys have to understand that nobody has to tell you what I'm attempting to tell you now. Really, to be perfectly honest, it's already in you. You, like Morpheus said, I could just show you the door. You the one who got to walk through it. I could tell you it's there, but you the one who got to bring it out. And a lot of guys don't believe that it's there, but it's there. And like the Oracle said to Neo, nobody can tell you you're the one. You just know it. But it takes you to believe in yourself, to believe that about yourself, in order
Yep.
for it to have any impact or influence in your life.
Yep. That test that she gave him was by telling him that he wasn't the one.
Exactly. And he fed into it by doubting it because he was looking for confirmation outside of himself, which is what a lot of guys do. They look for confirmation outside of themselves. And that's the opposite path to confidence.
Yeah, I agree. They seek that and they won't admit it because some guys they talk about how they don't seek validation. Yeah, they do.
Mm-hmm. Oh, they do.
Because
definitely.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You could tell how much a person seeks validation by the material items that you see them have. Because to be perfectly honest, To be perfectly honest, I would venture to say because most guys aren't rich. For all of the guys that got expensive luxury cars, they wouldn't have them if it wasn't about women. Because
See?
you really don't need a car except to go from point A to point B. And to me, when I run into guys like that, I immediately pick up on the fact that they don't really believe in themselves.
Right.
Because when you believe in yourself, when you really believe in yourself, and this is a very simple example to understand. When you believe in yourself, you go up to a woman acting like Jerome Rome from Martin. You not get ready to pull up on her like Brian McKnight. If you get
Facts,
what I'm
facts. Player from the Himalayas. Yes,
saying.
sir.
Exactly. And you
Yeah.
ain't gonna care whether or not she think anything of you. Cause you just doing you. But a lot of guys is not at that level, unfortunately.
Yeah, he had that charisma. I think that has not been talked about. Charisma. They talk about confidence and cold approach, jawline, mouthpiece. What about charisma? And that's what Romy Rome had. He had that charisma.
Hmm.
That's why,
Personality. He was
yeah,
being a man.
yep. At the end of the day,
That's facts. I wanna address some of these comments before we get back into the discussion. But Mr. Turner here says your life doesn't have meaning until the quality of having an inner or secret meaning has made clear sense to you. And I agree with that 100%. That's basically
yep,
you self-validating is what gives your life meaning. Because everything that's outside of you is really already inside of you. Really. So it all comes from within. If you don't
yep,
validate yourself, then you don't know yourself. You just
yep,
pretending. Any
yep.
any thoughts on that, right?
Yeah, because yeah, that validating yourself is important. That inner anima. You got your own personal cheerleader, but you got that inner anima, but the outer masculine of the inner anima. So it's like, but the outer masculine is not all the material stuff. It's just, um, if anything, it just represents really the vibe, the vibration, the mood that you're in. Like, speaking on the material stuff, I think there's two types of guys. If we're talking about just cars, you got the guy that got a certain car to get a woman, and you got a guy that got a certain car because he's trying to get over a woman.
Hmm. I would say that there's three types, and I would add into the third type, the dude that got a car that's gonna get him from point A to point B and is there for a purpose, and he don't give a shit about women or what they
Ah,
think about his car,
yeah, that part, that part.
unless she go buy him one.
Facts. That's probably the fourth guy.
I know that's right. I know that's right. Um, let's see. Mr. Bash said, "What caused Neo to believe in the Matrix?" I remember he was about to get shot at by Smith and the other agents. Well, Mr. Bash, what I would like to say in response to that is it was all a dream because that's how it started with Neo. It always starts with a question, and then your question will inevitably lead you to an answer. That's just the way life is set up. You ask a question, and eventually the answer will come to you. And so, with his initial question, what is the matrix? He was already aware that it existed. He just didn't know exactly what it was. So, he was aware that it was there. He just was seeking understanding.
Facts, facts.
Any commentary on Mr. Bash's statement, Ray?
Oh yeah, I mean, and even pretty much Morpheus was confirming that for him. You know, it was up to him to just accept the red pill and go further down the rabbit hole to see how far it goes. And so Neo wanted to know. He already, like you said, he had it in him, but it was up to him to find out more about it. And I think once things started to come together based on what he wanted to find out, that's when he started to truly tap in. That's when everything started to line up. But you got to have that drive early on. You know, yeah, nobody's not going to give it to you. They could lead you to the water, but it's up to you to drink.
That's facts. And it slipped my mind because, you know, I'm always excited to kick it with the brothers, Ray J, but I meant to have you plug your social media and whatnot so that these folks know where to contact you at, or to check out your content, if you will. You know, just briefly plug your social media, and I got it up here on the screen.
Oh yeah, that's basically it. You know what I'm saying? Like because I'm on my mobile device right now, so I don't want to get off the screen if I try to share my channel. So but yeah, that's pretty much how you find me. Both ways. Okay. Like on IG and YouTube, same way.
All right. You guys see I got it posted on the screen. Make sure you guys go follow Ray J on Instagram at TheOtherRayJ, all lowercase letters. And subscribe to his YouTube channel under the same name, TheOtherRayJ. We got another classic drop we did a couple of weeks ago called The Mathematics of Life. Y'all should check that out, which is also on my page too.
Yeah, that was popping. That was popping.
Yeah,
yes, indeed.
That was a good one. That was a real good one.
Yeah.
Mr. Jehovah said the real work is after the red pill, and I agree. But the hardest work is waking up.
Yeah.
So make sure you have some Folgers in your cup and get the coal out your eye.
Cause see and then if you want to really take it a step further from there, that waking up was when Neo got unplugged. Mm-hmm. When he took that so that's the waking up part. When he saw like what it was really like, what the real Matrix was outside of the Matrix, and you saw those robots flying in, trying to hijack the ship, and then he started to see like how much the world had been augmented, and I guess upon realizing like, yo, I still have these same gifts, even though I'm not plugged in. So yeah, I agree with his statement.
Ice Turner got another statement. We are the ones who create who we will become. We do that every day by our daily beliefs and self-talk. Yes, absolutely. People don't understand that self-talk is how you talk to the creator. You know, when you be quiet, when you just sitting down quiet, but you hear that voice inside that be talking to you, that's God. So when you need to talk to God, that's where you need to go.
Facts. I mean, and so I knew about that too, like, because, you know, growing up in the Christian church, you hear so much about prayer. However, meditation takes it a step further, because you have to actually get a quiet place. You have to get a quiet place amongst yourself where it's quiet, and you have to be quiet. You know, a lot of times you get in these churches and they teach you got to talk and speak out and shout out loud. That's cool, you know, but I think you should do that in celebration of something. You know, something happened, you know, oh, wow, I'm so thankful, you know, or if you're thankful that you woke up, you know, you can just briefly acknowledge the creator, you know, but oftentimes I think he wants you to listen. So don't talk so much, you know, kind of like a father, you know, he's like, I need you to be quiet and I need you to listen. You know, so that's meditation. So, and then of course, you know, as you go about your day, boom, ideas start to pop up, but it's not you speaking the ideas. You know, it's the creator putting those ideas in you and it's coming out of your mouth.
That's facts. That's facts. Because last time I checked, it do say in the Holy Bible that God was the Word, and the word was made flesh. And I'll be damned if that person that's on the inside of you don't be talking words. And I know I hear it when he said to me. I know y'all hear it when it said to you. But aside from that's a little bit off topic.
Yeah.
Um, aside from that, what suggestions do you have based on your own experience, or your best suggestions that you could offer guys that will help them believe in themselves a little more?
Yeah, that's a good question. This has helped me out a lot. Um, Record yourself. That's how I did it. It actually led me to start my own YouTube channel. Not that I'm saying that's what you're going to end up doing, but what it helped me do was it helped me develop a dialogue over the years, or a catalog, however way you want to look at it. Um, look back on some of my videos 5 years ago, maybe 10 years ago, some of my recordings, and I look back then versus now. Now, mind you, I've come a long way. So there's definitely growth. I see that. But I also see how some things that I've said back in the day was very ahead of its time. But I guess what it does is it really helps you to have a good gauge of your growth. So yeah, I encourage more guys to keep journals or to record yourself, as much as possible. Yeah, I guess another thing would be, um, you know, take pictures of yourself. If you're trying to be healthier, take pictures of yourself, see how you look 5 years ago up till now, and that at least give you an idea of what you got to do different if you got to do something better. So basically, I guess what I'm saying is just have some form of a timestamp for yourself, and that way you can look back a few years from now and be like, wow, did I make progress, or I need to do some or do I need to go back to the drawing board?
It's very easy for me to say to you guys that it really comes down to a mindset, and that is really the truth, to be perfectly honest with you. But I would be a little hesitant to really, really offer that as a suggestion to guys, as a practical suggestion to guys, because I recognize that everybody is not like me. And for me, that's a very easy way to think about it and to go about, you know, having more belief in myself. But what I would advise guys to do if they were to ask me for my suggestion is to pay attention and don't go overboard with it, but celebrate every little success that you have and let all of those successes add up to your overall success. So, you want to win every step that you take, depending on, how many steps it's going to take to complete your endeavor. But don't just celebrate when you get to the end. Celebrate the entire way there. And that will build up your belief in yourself, or put another way, your confidence, because it's pretty much one and the same.
Facts.
Yeah.
And and yeah, I mean, I pretty much think that too. I pretty much think that a lot too, especially if we want to talk about, when people try to bring up marriage, and of course, my sentiments on marriage, I think we all are pretty much on the same page, you and me, the way we think, the way a lot of us fellas think. But I think overall, that's why I feel like, why celebrate the big one, right away? Why celebrate the big one? Y'all haven't even went down the road of seeing if y'all gonna last. So that's why I'd rather celebrate the anniversaries together versus having a big wedding. Let's see if we even gonna last. Let's celebrate every year that we make it together so that we can look back and see how far we've come along the way. But see, a lot of people don't do that. A lot of people don't think that way. So yeah, like what you saying, just on the flip side, it's very important just to celebrate the small accomplishments in life because no empire was built overnight. It took time, it took bricks, it took mortar, it took plywood, it took every nail, every single weld. It took time. But see, a lot of people think like when they see somebody at a certain place in their life, they're not looking at what it took for that person to get there.
Exactly, I agree. We often see people who are what we consider quote unquote successful, and we assume things about them that we would like to be the same about ourselves. But as you so eloquently stated, we often don't consider, what I was just saying, those little small successes they had on the way to the big success. And I want to address Mr. Harvey Gosile's comment. He says, fast track progress. Your spirit reflects in your look, your appearance. Consciousness permeates through your entire being. And what I would say about that is it's very true because after all, we are all just energy. And the energy that you embody is what is you're going to emanate towards other people. Any thoughts, Ray?
Oh yeah, most definitely. It's definitely about the way your energy is with people. It'll bounce off. Like depending on how you remain constant, how people see that under pressure, you're not pressured. You know, you just flow smoothly. I kind of check out elephants, and what I mean by checking out elephants is a lot of people like to use elephants because they work hard, but you can't tell that they're working hard because they move slow, cautious, and they just get the job done. They don't rush, but there's a lot of power and strength behind every move that they do. And so I look at life like that a lot. Like I don't really rush my success. I don't rush my day. I don't even rush at work, especially in a warehouse. If I'm at a warehouse or, like to me, safety is key, so I just get through the day. Whereas somebody else is thinking about how to get through the day. I'm already halfway through the day and I haven't rushed. I haven't felt, excuse me, I haven't felt stressed or nothing. It's really all about not being stressed. I think to me, having no stress is success. There are a lot of people who have cancer, high blood pressure, diabetes, you name it. And a lot of it is from stress. You know, if people just cut back on that, they'll have more success. You
That's
know,
that's facts. Another thing that I would like to say is again I'm emphasizing the word self because all of this comes from within you. I've said it before, I'll say it again. All of these things that you need to assist you throughout this life is already within you. You don't have to go out, look outside for confidence. But one thing that I wanted to point out is, at least in my case, I can't say it for anybody else definitively, but a lot of my belief in myself, a lot of my confidence comes from my self-respect. And what I mean when I say self-respect is I don't lie to myself. Even when I'm lying, I tell myself the truth. Like, yo, you're lying to yourself, right? Or
facts,
and
facts.
I don't think I think a lot of people don't do that. And I think as a consequence that it hinders their belief in themselves. Any thoughts on that, Ray?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people have this self doubt, and I think that's just due to parenting. You know, notice how, like, with some kids, the kids that tend to grow up the best are the ones that, like, the parents didn't try to tell them things like, warn them of certain dangers. They'll just let their child kind of go about living their life, but just make sure their child doesn't get hurt. But it wasn't like this idea of just telling this child, "Oh, that's bad for you," or "This is not this don't taste good." Like, it just let a child be the way they are. So naturally that child grows up without any fear. You know, so they're used to just going about living a certain way. There was a time when I grew up not having to fear grasshoppers crawling on me. Thankfully, I've at least gotten used to jumping spiders. I like jumping spiders. I think they're cool, you know. But it's just this idea of, the once you start to not doubt yourself, you'll no longer have fears.
Yeah, that F word seems to pop up a lot in regards to people believing in themselves. And I think we should investigate that a little bit more. Um, why do you think people are scared, and what mostly would you say that they're scared of?
Well, if you break it down, it's like a cliche now in regards to the acronym of fear. But basically, I think they say that fear is false evidence appearing real.
Mm,
So a lot of things that people think are real really are not, but people have made it so in their life.
mm.
And if you think of this society, it doesn't help that society pushes out its own fears onto people. So, even racism, that's a form of fear. So kids don't know nothing about racism when they meet each other. Parents put that fear in them. So then kids grow up like, oh, well, mommy said this, and I got to go with what mommy said. I got to go with what dad said. You know, so once again, false evidence appearing real. So, and I think fear and being scared are two different things. I think scare just represents sort of a natural reaction, but usually you'll react a certain way, kind of like when you people think a headache represents pain. No, a headache represents something not right. So in essence, when you're scared, it doesn't represent fear, it just represents you reacting to something. But you you react the right way. I guess you counteract what you were reacting from. You know, uh, you know, if you learn how to hone in and master your fear will just turn into anger. If it's something that startled you, you'll turn around actually in a fit of rage versus this idea of wanting to fly, run away from the situation. So um, but yeah, that to me is the biggest hangup. And one can say that you fear yourself, but I think what it is you fear what you could become. A lot of people are scared of that person.
I would say that I think a lot of people fear themselves, but not entirely because they're not comfortable with themselves, but for at least in part what Miss Swan is saying, that a lot of people have fear because of humiliation or rejection. The fact that other people won't accept you. And this is why what I'm saying is so key, why you have to believe in yourself. Because when you believe in yourself, you can't be humiliated by anybody because you're not looking for them to validate what you're doing or what you think.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
the same thing with rejection. When you go into situations and the situations are not outcome dependent, then you maintain your belief in yourself because you just went into the situation just saying to yourself that I'm just going to do me. I'm just going to be who I am, and whatever
Yep.
happens, happens. So
Yep.
I would say that a lot of people's fear stems from that, along the lines that I was speaking, but also because of the fact that people don't know themselves enough to be comfortable with themselves. So somebody
Yep.
might know, they might be aware of something about themselves that they don't, not only do they not want other people to know, but they themselves aren't comfortable with it. And
Right.
it hinders them from believing in themselves because they should be embracing it instead of trying
Yep.
to, conceal it.
Yep.
Any thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, and so let's think about the rejection. That goes back to what I said about people instilling certain fears in you.
Hmm.
You may have never thought about being rejected until you got rejected, and maybe it could have happened a few times, or maybe that one time was enough. So that somewhat set it up a fear in you of being rejected again.
Hmm.
So what you have to do is face your fear.
Hmm. Exactly. And incidentally, that will help a lot of these guys, especially since they overly concerned about how to get women. Overcoming your fear of women is what's going to help you get women, in case you didn't know. But to address Mr. Turner's comment here, he says, learn how to break down your challenges into small steps until you know that you can do it. Once you do that, you can begin to realize that you are more than the challenge itself. This is true. So here's a story from my youth. It's how I learned how to ride a bicycle. Nobody taught me. I didn't ask anybody to. My next door neighbor, Telly, had a bike with no brakes. I didn't know at the time. And this was back when those plastic mag wheels for your bike first came out. So
Yeah.
I was already stoked just because the bike had mags instead of spokes. And this is also an indication of, an aspect of my personality. But I didn't ask anybody to teach me. I didn't even ask Telly could I ride his bike. I just got on it and rode it because I had already decided in myself I could do that just because I seen other people do it. And so I said I could do that too. And instead of having somebody show me, I proved it to myself.
Oh yeah, it was already in you, that Uberman, like you said, that Uberman. I think only a certain type of person, or as sometimes I say, a God amongst men, can do that because it's even deeper than just you believing in yourself. You already knew this about yourself, but it just had to be brought out. I mean, you probably already know how to fly a helicopter, but it just has to be brought out. I mean,
Man,
not too long ago.
I got a 3D mini RC helicopter. Fucking around, I can fly that bitch upside down.
See, 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 yeah. So, and it just reminds me of like certain action movies where, or even comics, where you would see certain characters. They can tap in and know everything. Even Neo, he knew how to do kung fu, jujitsu, taekwondo, boxing. He learned different languages. All of that very quick at a very rapid pace. I think it takes someone of a Uber type of a individual because most people are sheep. So sheep gather, sheep sit in classrooms and learn from the shepherd, aka the teacher. And okay, that's fine. Like if you want to say that you're like a teacher, but I think the shepherd, I think I think they get this idea of teacher wrong. I think what we see in college is not teachers. I think they're shepherds. They're not teachers. You know, the shepherds are bringing the sheep in. See what I'm saying? Bringing the sheep in and they go through that process, that indoctrination instead of education. And so there are things that should come naturally to you. So I always wanted to go to a like a what they would call a magnet school, or a school for the gifted, because I knew that was me. Now my mom, she never really had the money to get me in those type of schools, but pretty much every type of art class, trigonometry, physics, geometry, I pretty much aced those classes. I aced German, so I always knew I was for the gifted, that Uberman, Superman.
And incidentally, I'm not trying to like place myself on some imaginary pedestal above other people, because like I said earlier in the broadcast, the same things that I'm capable of are the very same things that anybody who's listening right now live, or who will listen on the playback, is capable of too. You really just have to tap into it the same way that I did. It's just, in my case, I was able to do so very, very early in my life. But
Yeah,
let's see.
facts.
I want to address a couple of more of these comments here. Mr. Gosal says, "Y'all speaking truth. You can either use fear to propel you forward, or hold you back. It's your choice." Absolutely. The problem is always choice, and you have to make it. You have to make a choice. You can't just sit on the fence, because you'll be like a seesaw with nobody on either end. You won't be going nowhere.
Yep, facts. And yeah, and if based on what you said, and yeah, y'all got some good comments out there, especially Charlotte Swan. I see you, sweetie. Um, like I think if you want to look at, let's just look at the human population per se, and treat it like popcorn. So what you mean by tapping in basically is anybody can become popcorn, but most people are just kernels. Most people never fully get popped.
Mm-hmm.
Most people stay within their kernel, stay within their shell. See what I'm saying? They stay
Mm-hmm.
within their shell. They never pop out of
Mm-hmm.
their shell because they never tapped in.
Mm-hmm. And I would like to add to that, that I would venture to say that this is not necessarily people hide behind a mask per se. This is just that people haven't tapped into their essence. People haven't. What I'll describe it the way I describe it about myself, and I'm only speaking about guys because I'm a guy. But guys have not learned how to turn off their editing system, and your your editing system is what is keeping you prisoner, uh, so to speak, or for a lack of a better way to put it.
Yeah.
Um, I want to address Ice's other comment here, where he says that fear is often based upon a misconception. It unfortunately doesn't teach us how to reduce fear, only amplify the lie within our perception. And I agree with that. I agree with that to a degree. And the example that I would use is, um, if you are out on the savannah somewhere in Africa, and a lion is growling at you and acting aggressively, there's really no way to misperceive that. But that's just an example, to make the point that I'm trying to make. But other than that, then I would generally agree with that comment.
Yeah, I feel you on that. I feel you, or especially a tiger, because a tiger is even more aggressive than a lion.
Hmm.
Yeah, I didn't realize how cold blooded a tiger was. Yeah, I didn't realize. Yeah, tigers are just a different animal altogether. I was like, dang, these tigers ain't no joke.
Oh, for real? Yeah, they ain't no joke, because it's all on them. Their survival is all on them because they're solitary creatures. So they have to have self-belief, you know. Whereas a lion, you know, all he got to do is go hook up with a lion. A lion, that's pride, and he good. And
Facts,
salute to
facts.
Esoteric, man.
Hey, what's
Esoteric.
good? That's so stoic. What's good, fam?
How you doing, bro? Anybody have any questions? Any more comments? We are here to answer your questions if you have any. If not, then we will continue. The herd makes people die. Mr. Gosal says, fear, especially introducing the herd, makes people more docile. Yeah, fear can make you docile. I would say it depends on how much muscle the person who's instilling the fear has. Because the more muscle you got, the more docile the person will be who's in fear.
Right. It's about actually, once again, facing your fear. Like Mike Tyson, he said he always goes into the ring with some fear, you know, and he literally, when he gets in the ring and he starts believing in himself, that's when things change and a switch goes off in his mind. And at that point, that's when he like, I'm a god, nobody can touch me then. Because it's just, he starts to believe in himself and believe in his gifts, you know, and you know, he said one good quote one time, because somebody was like, you gonna lose this fight. Mike Tyson, he was like, well, it's a fight, we're gonna fight anyway. I don't know what the outcome is gonna be. It's a fight. We just gonna fight. I'm gonna fight the way I know how to fight. He's gonna fight the way he knows how to fight. But I know I'm good at what I do. That's what I do know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've in those similar types of situations, I could say, but in all honesty, that I went into some of those kind of situations with some fear. And what I have come to notice is that, for me anyway, anytime I've been in that kind of a conflict, what I notice is that fear, the once that fear hits you, like, yo, I could possibly get fucked up here. Um, it seems to activate your adrenaline.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
And that adrenaline is like courage in a cup. It give you that, it's automatic self-belief.
Yep. And that's why I be telling folk, be careful how you raise your pit bull. You know, like I ain't one to bash someone with pit bulls. There's a big pit bull following on YouTube, and overall, I'm not here to bash nobody's pit bull. You know, but my thing is, when you're making your dog a certain way and he's all angry, he's actually fearful. I've noticed that because I've been face to face with a pit bull, growling, you know, barking, all that. But he started getting used to me. Then he started to lick me when he realized I wasn't scared of him. And then he started actually being more angry towards the person that made him that way. So I was thinking overall, this whole vengeful. Oh, go ahead. Slight delay. Go ahead.
No, you good. You good. You was saying something about being vengeful. The dog was not mad at you, and it was mad at someone else instead. That was the last thing I heard.
Yeah, and it reminded me of one of the person's comments. I think it was Harvey, and he brought up about the tigers, how they're the most vengeful. They're like the most vengeful animals on the planet. Yeah, because there's a couple of stories where tigers have went and killed people that have hurt them in the past. Or let's say if the tiger grew up in captivity and there was a lion trying to showboat. There was this one instance where a tiger was, I guess they couldn't contain the tiger. He got loose, ran into the lion cage to go after that lion that was showboating, and pretty much broke that lion's face. He didn't break that lion's jaw, he broke that lion's face.
Man, I was talking like a motherfucker. um, a lot of people don't know in regards to. Can you hear me? Hello.
Yeah. I
Oh,
can hear you. I can hear you. I
okay,
can hear you.
okay. A lot of people don't know about lions and tigers. That they think that lions is king of the jungle, but they don't even live in the jungle. And even the smallest lions are almost 100 pounds and a couple feet longer than a tiger, heavier and a couple feet longer than a tiger. But it's I've seen some YouTube videos of lions and tigers fighting. It's a lion could beat a tiger, but I would give it to the tiger 9 out of 10 times. I
Oh
think the
yeah, I
tiger,
mean
I think the tiger's got more self belief.
that's major. That's the big part. But also, like, lions only beat younger tigers. But when that tiger's older, that tiger could be either similar in size or larger. But the key thing about tigers is that they actually have extra shoulder muscles. They have more shoulder muscles than lions. That's why lions can't technically stand up and throw a blow like a tiger can.
Mm-hmm.
And also, tigers have greater muscle density. So basically, the difference between someone that's, I would say, I guess you could say, a bodybuilder and an athlete, if you want to put two and two together, but tigers have greater muscle density. So their muscles probably have 5 to 10 times more strength than the lion's muscles.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, um, but that belief in itself, like you said, that's what is the driving force. So with all the things that I've said about the tiger, add to that is self-belief. You basically got a monster. That's what that tiger is.
Pretty much, and that's what self belief is. You know, it's a very very powerful thing, and self belief, again, put another way, is just saying you're confident in yourself. That's really essentially what this entire conversation is about. Is you knowing that you are who you say you are to yourself, and that you're so confident in and you believe it so wholeheartedly, in much the same way that Morpheus believed that Neo was the one, even when Neo didn't believe himself to be the one. It's that belief in
Yep.
yourself that will help you achieve the greatness in life that you seek. But
Yep.
you got to put in the work.
And I guess since we do have Charlotte Swan in the building, even if even when some ladies listen to this on a replay, this is why I respect Trinity so much. Because she basically got to this point of self-belief, and it made her a lot more feminine, because she was just trying to get Neo to realize the same thing. Like, if I could do it as a woman, I know you can do it as a man in your way. You know what I'm saying? And he realized, like, well, yeah, I'm kind of like, I feel bad looking at you as a woman believing in yourself more than I am, and I'm supposed to be the one.
Mhm. Exactly. It's incidentally, just using that movie, The Matrix, as an example, everybody else believed Neo was the one before he believed it.
Facts,
And
facts.
so, but it wasn't until he believed it or believed in himself that he actually became an Übermensch or a Superman or the one. And that's the
Yep.
same. That's the same way. That's what I'm saying. That's the same way that it works with with guys or with people in general. But this is for the ladies too. But I'm mainly speaking to you guys because you're the leader of the interaction between you and your lady friend. And in order for her to get right, you got to be right. So that's what I'm here for. I'm here to get you right, so you don't have the kind of problems that you have. And believing in yourself is going to eliminate 50% of your problems.
Yep. That's also why I respect Shaq. You know, when he first got into the league, even in his college years, I mean, he knew he was a force of nature. He knew that. But he still was going through this metamorphosis of believing in himself. And once he tapped in, he finally knew that he was the Man of Steel, his version of Superman. And we saw it with his personality. He didn't have to be the cockiest guy. But this see, a lot of people think confidence is being cocky when it's not. You know, Shaq is a perfect example of someone that was very cocky. I mean, my bad. Let me rewind that. Shaq was the perfect example of someone that was very confident, but he wasn't even cocky. He was just this big 7-foot guy that was just fun and gullible, and you just knew he had a presence, and it showed. And he believed in himself enough to break down basketball rims.
And this is what I was saying. I was on a live panel with Affy Kingdom last night. This is what I was saying to guys last night, you know, in regards to the issues that they have with women. The best way to display your confidence to a woman is to be yourself. And she's either going to like you or she's not. It's really just that simple.
Yep.
It's not rocket science. You don't need no game. You don't need pickup lines. You don't need a fancy car. None of those things. I mean, you do want to be able to take care of yourself, but you don't need any of those things.
Right.
You don't need anything but what you are, because that's what women is looking for.
That's it.
Your car is not the masculinity. The masculinity comes from you.
Yep.
Your car
comes from
your money is not the personality. The personality comes from you.
Facts.
You know? And none of those things will work for you. And women pick up on that. They can see it in your face that you're not confident. They can look in your face and tell that you're not being who you really are.
Yep.
And that's why a lot of you guys have some of the problems that you have, because you refuse to believe in yourself, that you're worth this chick, or rather, she's worthy of being in your company.
Exactly. I mean, it's like that's why I've never given in to this whole high value man talk. I mean, I get it. It's good publicity. So, hey, go for it. Some guys want to be a high value man, but it's like when it's all said and done. Yeah, exactly.
But no, go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, you good, man. It's like, to me, it's like you said, without all that. So you mean to tell me a man has to exist in a world where his 6 figures defines him? What about when he doesn't have that? What about what it took for him to get that? They're not looking at that. They're just looking at his 6 figures. And so that's the toxic part to me. Because now you know, and that's all people see you for is those 6 figures.
And I want to address Miss Swan's comment. I don't know if she's married, but this comment that's on the screen says that people we fear may teach us the most about life and what we need to overcome. I have to think about that some. I have to put some thought about that into that. Do you have any particular thoughts before I move on to our other comment? Right.
She said people we fear teach us most about life and what we need to overcome. Yeah, I mean that's funny. Like that can be a good example. I guess for me, I've always been like Forrest Gump. I never really thought about people and feared them, really. But that's just me personally, you know. if I just, literally, if I ran into somebody, I just ran into them. I didn't think to say like, a person is going to act a certain way if I accidentally ran into them, like, but I know how I'm going to react if someone accidentally steps on my shoes or something, or if they bump into me on purpose. I know how I'm going to react,
Mhm.
uh, and I guess where I'm going with this is, yeah, there's a lot of truth to what she's saying for those who've grown up around fearful situations, and you haven't had no guidance, or you hadn't known how to tap in. I can see how that can actually be important for some people, what she said.
Mhm. The second comment that she made that I wanted to touch upon is this one here. When she was commenting to Ice, she said, "When we dislike someone intensely, even hate them, it says more about ourselves." I agree with that 100% because I have bitches in their feelings all day long on Facebook,
Yeah.
and I turn right around and say to them, "Why are you so mad? I didn't say anything about you personally.
Oh yeah.
I didn't even call you out your name. Why are you blocking me for? You that mad? Really? Seriously?
Yep.
It say more about you than it say about me." But what it really say about you, sweetie, is you really attracted to this toxic ass motherfucker,
Yeah.
and you try to fight it. So,
Yep.
how about we go out on a date Saturday?
Yep.
Just goofing around, man. But I agree with that statement, Miss Swan, 100% wholeheartedly. This is very, very true, and this is why I keep saying over and over again that guys need to know themselves so that when they encounter somebody who invokes that kind of emotion in them, they'll understand it and thus take the power out of it. But that's a whole nother drop for a later
Right.
date. Coming in 2021.
Right.
I appreciate the compliment there, Big Rich, and that's for both of us.
What's good, Big Rich? What's good?
And the brother man family, Mr. Esso Stoic says the whole concept of high value male ignores the spiritual and wholeheartedly focuses on the material. I agree with you 100%.
Facts.
I'm pretty sure you may have heard my commentary on it. And I'll state it for the record. Quote unquote high value man. If this high value man is according to what people subscribe to, somebody who has materially made it, is really just a high value trick because you don't need none of those things to get a woman. As a matter of fact, you know who you are as a person will garner more out of a woman than what you got. And
Yep.
there is a woman right here in the chat, Miss Swan. As the resident expert on women, being a woman yourself, you can't confirm or deny what I just said about that. Now, I'm not
Oh
saying
yeah.
that women don't. I'm not saying that women want a broke dude. But what I'm saying is that money is very, very low on the level of importance for women, unless they think you're a trick.
Right. Right. And see, like, and it just makes you wonder, like, a lot of these chicks that are wanting to level up, a lot of those chicks are post wall,
Mm-hmm. Or,
because
or they hoes.
are they hoes?
My fault, YouTube 304s. Kiss my
Oh,
ass,
hey,
YouTube.
no, it's almost Christmas. Ho, 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 hoes.
I know that's right.
Yeah,
Please, ho ho ho, be quiet.
exactly. Hey,
Okay.
they,
Yeah, shout out.
they,
I want to shout out to the field general, Uncle Ron Wills. A lot of you guys who subscribed to me recently came as a result of some of the exchanges that me and Mr. Wills had on a few of his videos. I really appreciate you for subscribing to my channel. Bring a friend, and we go keep this shit pushing. See, and just to get back to what I was saying. Miss Charlotte Swan, for all you guys, you're here to witness. She confirmed that what I said. So the money argument, based on what Miss Swan said, is null and void. I ain't saying you gotta be rich, but as long as you take care of yourself, she really don't give a shit how much money you got unless she think you a trick. Put it in your notebooks.
See,
Take a screenshot.
Kodak.
The Harvey Wallsteins. Harvey Weinstein, the one-man crime scene. Before we get out of here, Ray, do you have any closing thoughts? And do anybody else have any questions? Because we want to answer any of your questions before we get out of here.
Man, to be honest with you, and you know, sometimes I tend to drop these lightning bolts like Ice Turner said the other day. So a lot of these guys, I think they're not learning how to believe in themselves out here. What they're learning really more or less is believing that they can trick. That's what they're believing in. They're not believing in themselves. They're believing they can trick, but they're not going to say it's tricking. So it's like they're tricking themselves if you think about it. That's like a double entendre. People try to buy themselves in some ways too.
That is 100% true. I can't reach out, Mr. Harvey Gosal. I can't make any promises. You know, Mr. Wills is a busy guy, but if he's willing to come on, I'm more than willing to have him because he's a lot of the things that Mr. Wills has been saying to you guys are some of the same things that I've been saying before I even know who Mr. Wills was. Not to say that I know more than him or he knows more than me, but just that we validate each other because we come to the same conclusion. And so that in and of itself should hold weight with folks, especially considering that Mr. Wills is a very an author of some well-selling books.
Shout out to Ron Wills. Shout out to Ron Wills.
Mm-hmm. And for all you guys, you know, if you want to trick on some pussy, you know, just look in the mirror and give yourself some money. I just want to say that.
See?
And my closing thoughts, since nobody else has any questions, is a lot of guys don't believe in themselves. That's my honest assessment. And I think that is a tragedy because it doesn't cost you anything to believe in yourself, but it could give you everything if you do. And a lot of guys' problems, specifically with women and, you know, in life in general, comes from a lack of believing in themselves. And another way to say belief in yourself is to say that you don't have any confidence. And if you're not confident, nobody's going to be confident in you. So it starts and ends with you. This is going to apply in your life. It's going to apply in your relationships with women.
Hey, they believe in a dating coach more than they believe in themselves.
Let me tell you, man, I'm going to be honest with you. There's nothing wrong with getting information from dating coaches if you feel that that's what you need. But one notable dating coach has said the very same thing that I'm telling you. It's already inside you. Shout out to Mr. Lucario. Before we get out of here, I want to remind you guys to go subscribe to Ray J's YouTube channel. He got some dope content. He got more on the way. We both got more what's the word?
More in store. Upcoming.
We got more coming. We got more collaborations to come in the future. But we
Yeah,
also
yeah.
got our solo shit. So make sure you go check out his channel, and please excuse me for the brain fart, cause I'm my old guy. And also follow him on Instagram, both TheOtherRayJ on YouTube and on Instagram. And you know where to find me. I'm right here at the Top Cast on YouTube. If you haven't caught season 1 of the Top Cast on Anchor, go check that out. Or you can catch me on your favorite podcast outlet like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Radio Public, etc., etc. This has been episode number 6, Self-Belief of the Übermensch series. We got 3 more episodes to go. They'll be coming soon. Episodes 1, 3, and 5. So with that, I'd like to thank you, Ray, for coming through, blessing the people, informing the people, and bringing light to the Top Cast. You're more than welcome
Oh,
to
no
come back at
problem.
any time. You know I'm going to be calling on you because you got that red phone. You know, you got the commissioner phone, and you Batman, and I'm gonna reach out, and the phone gonna be flashing, so you know what it is.
Yeah, for sure, man. I appreciate you having me, man. Anytime, I'm always gonna be looking for that signal, for sure.
Absolutely. Don't forget, follow me on Instagram at the_T.O.P_cast. You can cash at me or PayPal me. You know, I'm not against taking donations. I appreciate it. And again, go check out season 1 on Anchor. Got 1 episode number 21 coming up before December 31st, before we go into season 2.
Yeah,
Got some
check out
product.
that anchor. That anchor is off the chain.
Yeah, definitely. I get a little bit more loose, but definitely check that out. We'll catch you guys again. We gonna close out with another jam, and we will get with you the next time. Thanks again
All
for
right,
coming through,
y'all.
Ray J.
Yeah,
And
no problem, fam.
thanks to all of you
Anytime.
guys for coming through on the live. All right, no doubt. Here we go. Oh, damn. Well, we won't go out with a closing song unless y'all don't feel like waiting for a second. Just bear with me 1 second. I had the damn thing, but I didn't have the audio playing. Ain't this something? Okay, here we go.
This is my life. I feel like I'm on top of my game. But deep down, I know.
Hot shit. Hot shit. Hot shit. Hot shit. Hot shit.
I strive to be humble, lest I stumble. Never sold a jumbo or come chicken wings with mumbo sauce. Tyson is a foul holocaust. Hitler gas your whole head up with poetry. I'm fed up. Ignore cordon bleu. Stand up, get up. Lunge for your knife. Don't forget your potholders.
Hot shit. What? These old things, about to throw them away. With the gold rings that make them don't fit like OJ. Usually I take them off with oil or Olay. MCs is crabs in the barrel past the Old Bay. Hot as hell and it's a cold day in it. Working on a way that we can roll away tinted. Some say the price of holding heat is often too high. You either be in a coffin or you be the new guy.
The one that's too fly to eat soup pie. Never too busy when it comes down to you and I. A lot of niggas wish to die. They need to hold their horses. It's bigger fish to fry. You're on the list. If not, pick a number spot. 10 and a half Timbs is made to kick your bumper clock. I could've had a V8, F-150 quad cab, but I'll be straight. Money comes and goes like that 2-bit hussy that night that try to rush me. Dwight past the Dutchie, so I could calm down so they don't get it twisted. Take it from the fireside and won't get blistered. Got it. What happened? Oh, it's not lit. These metal fingers be holding. Hot shit.
When I was 4, I penned God was born in New York back in 77. Still got Nan in the crescent. The effervescence of God's presence is thick. Unlike vapor, esterol, extra roll, word to the baker. Peace to the hard-working gingerbread makers. Looked up and down, said, too much makeup. Poor music takes 10 years from being grown up. Rappers don't blow up, heads do. My name is White Spitz, I'm a sonic addict. I used to think it was merely a nagging habit. Born under a bad sign. I'm serious about this curse of mine. I strive to flip it into fine wine. Barely born a virgin is what the stars said. Black, not white, red all over though like Elmo. 28 years have passed, I feel I'm peaking. I make music every weekend. It's a chore, a fact of life, a labor of love. I get mad love, but I detest the labor and its wages. You know, death. I'm serving life from this gift of God. Don't forget your potholders, my niggas.
Low hot, low hot shit. Low hot shit.
A short time later.